today we are going right the way across the other side of the world. Today we are talking to St. Louis in Missouri, and I've got Neil and Adam from Neil and Adam. How you doing, guys? You both well?
Yeah, great. Thanks.
Thank you. Yes, really good.
Now, how did you two guys get together in the first place?
We met in high school and started to work pretty much right away. Started writing songs. Neil started coming over to my parents' house, and we'd hang out in the basement and just write song after song after song, and just got, better and better.
Cool. Now, let me see if I've got this right. Neil is guitar, Adam is keyboards. Or have I got that wrong?
No, that's right. But we also, we'll play any instrument we have to. Like Adam plays guitar and I play keyboards, and it's whatever we can play, we play. We just kind of write pretty free-formed. And if Adam happens to be on the keyboard when we're writing, then that tends to be the one that he sticks with for that song, and vice versa. So, we pretty much play. We pretty much play it all. Play it all.
Right.
Okay. Now, you've both got sort of family involvement in the music industry, haven't you? You both got sort of dads, I think it is, that have been involved in music?
It would be my father and then Neil's godfather and cousin.
That's it. And how did that influence you a lot in sort of wanting to play music?
I know my dad did. Growing up, being around it, seeing him do it. As a little kid, I definitely wanted to pursue music and want to learn as much as I possibly could.
Yeah. Do you find that the music scene where you are in St. Louis is really, really sort of live and welcoming to have people like you, just sort of playing? Or is it really difficult to get gigs?
It's not hard to get gigs. It is a pretty good, vibrant music scene over here. But Adam and I, it is funny though, because we get more airplay, from our music over on your side of the pond. So that's just something we've noticed. Yeah, like they'll pick us up on, radio stations here and there, community radio stations. But I would say the vast majority of the airplay we get comes from Britain,
right,
Europe. Yeah. And that's cool because we're fine with that. We want our music to be heard far away.
Canada's been pretty cool.
Sorry, I talked all over you then. Go on.
Oh, I was just going to say, Canada's been pretty nice to us too. We've gotten a lot of play up in Canada also.
Do you find that your music is well accepted, just from the basic stuff that you do? Because, a lot of the stuff you do is just you two, isn't it? It's not a big band or anything like that around you.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's just us. It's whatever we come up with, We write it all ourselves. When we need help recording it, we'll call in studio musicians or we'll get help from our engineer. But really, it's us, and it is very well received, though. I'd say that people generally like our music, and we're happy that they like it because it's just it's good all around. It makes us want to write more. It makes us want to play more, and it's fun.
Okay, so does one of you do one of you do the lyrics and one does the music, or is it just a total collaboration? Do you just throw everything in the pot?
I'd say it's a total collaboration, but I think for the most part, since Neil, it's his vocals. He's exceptional at putting together lyrics and melody lines, and so predominantly that's his role. I pretty much assist in that, and together, we both do a lot of the music, the arrangement, and so it's definitely
50-50.
50-50.
Yeah, and it happens naturally. We just kind of blend that way. Like I might start out writing the lyrics because I have an idea, and then I'll get stuck, and then Adam will say, "Well, what about this?" And then that just kind of spurs us along to the next verse, or something like that. So it is a total collaboration.
Now, the one thing I do like, having listened to a couple of tracks that I've listened to, is you can't put you guys into a box. you're not country, you're not rock, you're not blues, you're not folk. It sort of encompasses all that. Is that something you've intentionally gone for?
No, but I mean that. Like, first of all, thank you very much,
Yeah,
because
thank you.
we feel that way too about our music. You know, that's not when we sit down, that's not like our end game. We're not like, okay, let's try and sound like nobody else. It's just kind of a natural thing for us, and we're really glad that it turns out that way because, like, we've always admired bands that were kind of like that, and it's good to hear that we're one of them.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, I've gone onto the page, neelandadam.com, and listening to some of those tracks on there, you sort of get a real feeling that you guys are able to sort of relate to your surroundings, to things that are going on, things like Leave This Town and Everything Is All Right. They're all tracks that sort of relate to things that are happening now. Once again, is that something you picked out on?
Gosh, yeah, that's, I mean, I would say things happen pretty organically with us. I mean, we are influenced by our surroundings, for sure, but we just try to write in a very honest, very transparent way that's true to ourselves. And we are just happy that people really like it as much as we do.
Yes.
Now you write music, you produce music, you put it out on the internet. Do you find that the internet is an important part for you nowadays?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, that's how we get noticed, how we get heard, how we get exposure. It's all of the above. I think promoting one's music is almost kind of like it's a daily endeavor. But yeah, I mean, the internet it's fantastic. I mean, here we are talking to you across the world. So,
I know.
I mean, that still kind of blows my mind.
It's amazing, isn't it? It scares me a little bit sometimes. Now we can also go onto the site and we can actually see you guys performing because you did a set, I think it was, for KMOV, Great Day St. Louis. Everything is all right. You're performing that. We can actually watch you doing it. Do you enjoy performing live?
We do. I think we really just love songwriting. Playing live has always been fun. It's been a treat. But I think what we really enjoy is like when it's just like Neil and I sitting down and trying to hash out different ideas and different concepts and, different chord progressions, all these different things kind of come together. And I think we've always really just enjoyed that.
Yeah, it was always fun, or it is always fun, taking to the stage and, just kind of being in that moment, in that element of just creating great tunes for people right there. It's always fun, and, we'll never pass up the opportunity. But we are and will always most comfortably be writing, I mean, some of our, getting back to that first question you asked, about how we met and whatnot. Shortly after we met, we were in Adam's basement, every weekend, I mean, so this is going way back. This is going, 20 years plus back. But, all of our other buddies, friends or whatever, would be out and about, going to this party or that party, and we were always like way more comfortable declining the invitation and staying at home and writing and seeing what we could come up with ourselves, because there's something so much more worthwhile in creating. And just being able to share a space while we're creating, I think is so much fun. And I think there's something to that you can never reproduce on a stage.
When you go into the studio, does one of you take control, or are you both very, very diplomatic and sort of let each other sort of flow?
I think we let each other flow. I think, a lot of times our vision is pretty much the same. If it's a little different, we discuss it, we talk about it, and we come to, a mutual agreement. But, having I think one of the good things is having worked together for so long. It's pretty easy. You know, if I had just met Neil, you know, a year ago when we were doing this, maybe it wouldn't be. But since we've been working together so long, it makes everything flow.
Yeah.
Now, Adam, I've got to ask you, how much of an influence has your dad, Fred, been upon you? I mean, he's got quite a history of songwriting.
Yeah, he actually worked for Motown in the publishing, you know, the songwriting thing, I guess back in like the late 70s, early 80s. Just watching him as a little kid play, it always just fascinated me. And you know, as a matter of fact, I was over there last night and playing on one of his new amplifiers. I think I put a little video up on Facebook, and there's some videos of him and I actually playing together on my Facebook page. So yeah, he's getting back into it, you know, playing guitar and playing. So we've been hanging out a lot, and it's been a lot of fun.
Hey, that's cool. That's cool. Hanging out with your dad, that's lovely, isn't it? What have you got planned for this year? I mean, we're 2018. We're just at the beginning of 2018. What have you got going on for you guys?
Well, we've made some arrangements at a new studio that we'd like to visit quite regularly. We've got some new songs that we're working on right now, but we're really excited about our Mike Rogers.
Right. Oh yeah, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the guy that did our first single, who did the co-production, Mike Rogers. We're going to work with him in his studio, I guess, in late April on the East Coast, and we're pretty excited about that.
Wow.
So, yeah, you know, that's, I guess, from St. Louis. You know, St. Louis is like in the middle of the country.
Yeah.
So we're going
Yeah,
like.
he used to live here.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Not live here, but I've been there a couple of times. You know, no.
But yeah, Mike helped us. Actually, I mean, he really, I mean, essentially, we wrote everything all right, but Mike made it awesome. You know, he really brought it to its full potential, and we're really excited. He's got one heck of a background. He's a really great guy, and he's worked with more artists, and he's worked on more projects than probably we could even mention. Mm-hmm. And we're very honored that he's inviting us to his studio. So we'll be up in Connecticut to hang out with him, to write with him. And so that'll be in like late April. And we're just going to keep cranking out as much as we can, you know?
Fantastic. Now, I read on your webpage that you guys have a vast catalogue of material. Are you a bit like Stevie Wonder? You write songs and maybe you don't actually sort of get completely finished, so you put it on the shelf and you come back to it? Or do you like to sort of get a finished item?
You know, sometimes what we'll do is, I mean, we do have a ton of songs, and on that particular SoundCloud page, we put up a lot of demos too, which is, you know, people can kind of listen to just demo work. But we'll exchange ideas a lot, you know, from one song to another. So I think that's the good thing about having a bunch of material. Sometimes you can have one idea. If that song only got 60% of the way through, you can use some of it in another song that seems to be on the right path. Mm-hmm. So we do exchanging back and forth. Okay.
Now listen, you've got new material. Is there an album on the way?
Yeah.
We're getting there. It's hard for us to, you know, I mean, we kind of do it piecemeal, you know, getting back to your question about, you know, do you not stop until you have a finished work, or do you have a lot of half-written songs? You know, a lot of our songs are, you know, 3/4 of the way done or halfway done, you know, and they kind of nest very, very good concepts and very good chord progressions and very good ideas that we've had. And then we'll pull them out of the nest, you know, as needed. But we really like to focus, you know, like when we're like, you know, okay, we're going to do this song. We're going to sit down and we're going to write this song. Once we start a project in the studio, then we won't stop until we finish it, or we'll just walk away from it and say that it's done for now. Yeah, a lot of our songs, I think, just kind of go unfinished when we're throwing ideas out. But once we start in the studio, we do not stop. And so I think that's probably part of the reason why they sound so different than, each song sounds different than the next. And so for us, it's kind of hard to like tie all of those into one album. But yeah, I mean, we would like to make one album, but right now it's just kind of like, we like to really treat each song like it's its own album and not stop until it's finished, until we're absolutely, happy with it. Yeah, I'd say, stay tuned. There'll be an album from us.
And I know the industry has changed so much. Like some of the advice that we've been given was like, I know we had wanted to put together an EP for a while, and some of the advice we got was like, just keep releasing singles because that's where the market is right now. So it kind of goes back and forth. But I think at the end of the day, we'd like to put together an album.
When you go into the studio, do you work with a producer? And if so, do you find it difficult to let go of the song that you've created? Do you sort of get this feeling that, no, it's my baby, I don't want to let you have it?
Right. Yeah, I mean, there is a bit of that. A lot of great ideas, I think, can become of just letting go a little bit and seeing where the song goes, or if our engineer has a suggestion, and says, I don't know, let's try it this way or let's try it that way, and ultimately we're the judge, but just playing with it a little bit, and just having some kind of flexibility within the studio, I think, dictates the ultimate direction of the song. Yeah.
Okay. It's been great talking with you guys. Now, look, if people want to get a sample of your music, I mean, I've got neilandadam.com, but they can also get you on iTunes and all the usual places, can't they?
Right. Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, Amazon. Yeah. All those. On our website, there's a link. Our website needs some updating, which we're in the midst of now. But there's right up at the top, you can go to our Twitter and our Facebook. There's also links to our music that's on sale. But yeah, on Twitter, it's Neil Adam Music. Then we have a Facebook page, Neil and Adam Music. So yeah, it's all there.
Yeah, and I know I've been on to both of those and sort of checked it out, and you do respond, which is lovely, which is something which I think is really important, because I know quite often with people, they have Facebook and people go on there and they ask them questions and things like that, and the artist doesn't respond, but you guys do, don't you?
Yeah, I mean that's how you get forward. I've heard stories about artists not responding or ignoring. I just never. We don't understand that, because I mean you only get ahead by getting yourself out there and communicating with everybody.
Well, look, guys, thank you so much for talking to me. It's been an absolute pleasure. I hope things in St. Louis carry on really, really well for you, and maybe one day we'll get you over this side of the world, eh?
That'd be awesome.
That would be fantastic.
All right. Neil and Adam, thank you so much for talking with me. Take care, guys.
All right, you too.
You too, Lee J. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Bye for now.
All right, bye.